Welcome everyone to Fall MAXI 2021. My name is Amy Steinbicker and I'm the Executive Administrator for the DMAW EF. I am joined by our event coordinators, Courtney Lewis, President of the DMAW EF Board of Directors, and Leanne Doyle and Lauren Warner, who also serve on the board. We will begin our virtual competition with presentation 1, which will be our team from the University of Maryland. Before the team gets started, I would like to introduce our judges. We have 3 judges with us today, Marianne Chan and Lily Radke of Fuse Fundraising and Angela Strubing of Capital One. Judges, we will let the University of Maryland get started.
Okay, everyone can see my screen? All right. Hello, everyone. We are the team from the University of Maryland, and today we're going to be talking about expanding the donation experience for Toys for Tots. Now, before we begin, I want to give a brief overview of what we will be discussing today. So we're going to go into a little bit of background of Toys for Tots, talk about the challenge that we were tasked with, go into some of our market research, creative, and then go into our campaign phases before ending with our impact. So to begin, we're going to look into Toys for Tots. So Toys for Tots was founded in 1947 by the Marine Corps, and they are actually a nonprofit that's run by them. And since then, they have been working to deliver hope to less fortunate children. And they do this by specifically focusing on the holiday season, specifically Christmas, by collecting new toys. And so to this date, they have actually been able to distribute over 600 million toys to help close to 300 million children in need. Now, although this is not an exhaustive list, some other ways to donate to Toys for Tots if you're unable to go to drop off a toy at your local Dropbox center. These include corporate sponsorships, monetary donations, or even some of the programs that they offer, such as the Holiday Giving Program. Now, looking at our challenge, we found that because Toys for Tots is so holiday associated, they primarily market between the months of October and December. And so we were tasked with creating a multimedia channel that really runs during those off seasons, essentially looking to expand outside of this traditional holiday giving season. So our campaign will primarily focus between the months of January to September. Now, to look at some of our market research, when we broke it down in terms of the target audience for Toys for Tots, we found that they have over 800 local communities, which extends to Puerto Rico, Washington, D.C., as well as the U.S. Virgin Islands. And they also have a variety of corporate sponsors, as well as corporate donors that contribute to their donations. Now, looking at it from a more general sense, we wanted to better understand who donates to charities, and we found that 90% come from high-income families, 80% come from individuals, and 25% of adults actually like to volunteer and donate their time. Now, we also wanted to better understand, why do people donate to charities? And through a study done by Yuga, we found that the answer was quite simple. Americans donate to charities simply because they're asked to. So as you can see here, for example, 39% of people donated because they were asked to by family or friends, or 27% of people were donated because they're asked to by a person in a public space. We also conducted a competitor matrix for Toys for Tots, and as you can see, they're primarily located in the lower left quadrant because they are a more short-term campaign and they are also very holiday associated. So with this challenge at hand, we really wanted to move Toys for Tots away from this lower left quadrant and bring them a more competitive advantage. So for example, the Family Giving Tree has more of a long-term campaign and they're not so much holiday focused, allowing them to shift across this matrix. Now, through our research, we were able to confirm that when people donate or they give, it's more than just a decision they make. It really comes from the heart, and it's essentially an emotional act. So when you're making the decision to donate to Toys for Tots, for example, you're really becoming a part of the story, the journey, and the overall impact that you'll be able to contribute to that child in need.
Next, we'll be diving into the creative aspect. Now introducing Catch the Train campaign. I'm sure some of you here can recall some of your most fun memories that happened during your childhood. Whether those memories are associated with feelings of warmth, happiness, or overall excitement, as every child should experience, we wanted to extend those feelings to children across America through Toys for Tots. And even if you may not have experienced a childhood with these positive associations, our message will extend to your hearts because we want to extend the hope, the play, the fun, and the joy to every child across the nation all year round. Next, we wanted to play off the idea of the original iconic Toys for Tots logo when coming up with our actual logo. Through our idea, you can see it Catch the Train is directly associated with Toys for Tots, using their original logo, but then also adding our spin through the presents on top that have our brand promise. Catch the Train Tour is a live traveling donation collection train going to 12 primary destinations across the nation. Starting in Quantico, Virginia, then going to Houston, LA, San Francisco, Salt Lake City, Portland, Seattle, Minneapolis, St. Louis, Boston, New York City, and then finally ending in Washington, D.C. These tours will be an interactive, hands-on donation experience that parents, grandparents, teens, or anyone of any age is invited to partake in the magical experience that would be the Catch the Train tour. These would also be at the participating Toys for Tots locations at the destination. At the cities, we will make it a little getaway with a Toys for Tots miniature model train, games, places to take photos, and of course, donation drop boxes. This is what the dashboard on the website would look like. We really wanted to make sure that the magic never stops during the year. Even if the train is not in your city, you can always check the countdown to see the next city on the tour, and there will also be a monetary donation leaderboard to encourage friendly competition between cities. Additionally, the 12 destinations that are on the tour were chosen because they are areas of high charitability, large market sizes, and all of them have stops on the Amtrak tracks. Going off of the Amtrak idea, we thought that Amtrak would be a great organization to partner with to maximize the overall success of the Catch the Train tour. They've worked with 19 community partners in the past, and the process to suggest a partnership is actually quite simple as it's outlined on their website. This partnership would leverage and maximize the brand recognition for both the Toys for Tots and the Amtrak, as the logo would be on the miniature model, as I talked about previously. Also, all cities partaking in the tour will already be on the Amtrak track map, which will support toy distribution and toy storage. The Catch the Train tour will run from February 1st all the way until September 30th when it stops in Washington, D.C. The train will be stopped in each city for roughly a week or two, with local volunteers recruited at each destination to make sure everything goes smoothly, and also as another way to reach into the local communities. The tour stops will be an interactive in-person drop-off experience that will be engaging with the local communities through volunteers and donors. There will be tangible rewards through these stickers shown to the left that will be personalized for each city and have our slogan, #ICaughtTheTrain. With this, there's also the possibility of virality with both the hashtag and the actual event, since everyone will be taking pictures and receiving the stickers once they donate.
Now we are going to transition into the actual phases of our campaign. So to kick off the campaign, we'll start by raising awareness. While many people know Toys for Tots, Catch the Train's ambitions are to generate year-round buzz, not bound to just holiday giving. To raise awareness, we plan to target multiple channels. These include magazines, display ads, radio, billboards, and paid search. Our target demographic will be families, higher income earners, and those who live in the suburbs. So like stated earlier, we want to reach those who have disposable incomes and families while also building momentum around a family event dedicated to doing good. So for our magazine ad, for the promotional material on the magazine ad, it will focus on the range and longevity of the event, as well as its extendability to all looking to donate hope, play, fun, and joy across the country. For our billboard, this is an example of how each location is to be made an event of its own where community members across the region can attend. Now, on the paid search, the strategy focused on the specific intention of the campaign in order to minimize wasted spend. Therefore, we will use keywords such as toy drive and toy donations to effectively touch the targeted audience. Through projections, this resulted in a 4% click-through rate.
Here you can see our estimated finances for phase one. We didn't just want to give you our estimated costs, but also give you an idea of what our estimated return and reach could look like. And we show the reach through our estimated impressions. As you can see in the total section, we expect the total cost of this phase to be around $47,000 with a return of around $72,000, which gives us a net profit of around $25,000. We expect the reach to be around 12.1 million, with most of the impressions gained through billboard and display advertising. I also want to add that these were calculated using the reference sheet given in the brief.
The second phase of our campaign is focused on engagement. So using email, PR, organic reach on social media, and live events, the Catch the Train campaign will target the family demographic while also tapping into untouched markets through the potential virality of the campaign. Through PR and social media, we believe that the campaign can pull outside attention by bringing in the younger generation and those on social media to the event. So engagement for the campaign will be focused on building a long-term giving community rather than just simply donors. As far as PR, a firm will be hired for the first 3 months to create a consistent cycle of coverage from relevant outlets. But over time, this will build the engine for organic PR over the later months. On Facebook, we will primarily target parents and message this as a family event for parents looking to bring their kids and have an enjoyable experience of giving back. On Instagram, the focus will be targeting families and kids while creating a foundation for building a strong online community. Each post will have a specific call to action catered around the live train events. Now, using geotag filters across social media, our campaign will build a library of user-generated content from each location. Ultimately, this will create organic reach and allow the campaign to hit different markets by creating noise from real people. Especially for kids, the act of giving this content can be transformed as an experience rather than just an obligatory thing to do. Lastly, it will build an online community around the event for people to become longtime supporters of Toys for Tots.
So here again, you can see our estimated finances for phase 2. Looking again at the totals, you can see we expect to spend around $53,000 on this phase, but receive an ROI of around $115,000, which gives us a net profit of around $62,000. We also expect the estimated impressions to be around 12.4 million, with most of the impressions gained through social media and the public relations channels. So now that we have created awareness and built engagement, it's now time to leverage it for collection. We do this in a number of ways, but the first is with our dashboard. Here, people will see in real time the impact being made across the country. People will feel encouraged to interact with our campaign by tracking the donation progress as well as the train's location. People will also be encouraged to do their part and add to the total good being created around the country. We will also be leveraging our hashtags in order to incentivize engagement and build community. And as we showed earlier in the research, people donate because they are asked to and because they see others doing it. Creating a community of engaged donors who are proud of the good they are creating and want to share their impact on social media by using the hashtags and filters will help propel our collection flywheel and incentivize others to donate in a more intimate way. Lastly, we want everyone involved with our campaign to feel appreciated for the work they did and the impact they helped create. That's why we want to personally thank volunteers and donors at the train events and send thank you emails to those who donated or assisted in some fashion. These are just simple acts, but can go a long way in cementing the positive impact and feelings that were developed throughout the campaign. Now here you can see our total estimated finances broken down by our 2 phases, as well as the campaign totals. You can see the estimated impressions and costs remain relatively similar in both phases, but the expected return in phase 2 vastly outperforms phase 1. Now, this is not surprising, as once awareness is created and people are engaging with the campaign, it'll be much easier to incentivize and capture increased donations. In total, you can see we expect to receive an 88% increase in our ROI with an estimated campaign reach shown through impressions of 24.6 million. Now, this is a very strong reach and helps emphasize how impactful and recognizable our campaign will be. To wrap things up, we wanted to highlight the impact that our campaign is creating. First, we are increasing community engagement all year round. No longer will donation giving be a seasonal activity, but with this campaign, people will be incentivized and excited to participate during the entire year. Second, we are expanding the awareness around holiday giving. New demographics and younger audiences will be engaged in our campaign, and those who might not have participated in seasonal giving in the past will now be aware of this opportunity and become excited to participate. Third, we are creating an interactive donation experience. Families and friends will be able to gather as a community to positively impact the lives of the less fortunate children. They will be able to make new memories at our events and easily share them with others to experience. Those who can't attend in person will still be able to interact and engage with our campaign online by tracking the train and donation progress as well as posting. Fourth, we expect to generate a net profit of around $87,531. We believe this is just a baseline figure for our potential earnings, but even so, it is a tangible amount that can make a difference in so many children's lives. And lastly, our campaign will improve the total association and recognition of Toys for Tots. 24 million people will have engaged with Toys for Tots in some fashion, and the high quality experience of those interactions will turn these individuals into longer-term donators who are excited to participate and create impact in their community.
So the Catch the Donation train is coming to a city near you. Don't miss it. Catch the donation train and donate today at toysfortots.org/catchthetrain.
Wonderful. We'll go ahead and open it up to our judges and we'll begin our Q&A portion. And I think, Marianne, you are going to go first with your question. Thank you.
Hi, everyone. Great job. And good morning. So first off, I'd love to hear just what did you find most interesting or enjoyable about working through this campaign?
Sure, I can start off with that question. I think I can speak on behalf of the team, but I think the fact that this was a nonprofit, it was really interesting for us to think about the perspective of being able to give back and kind of think about what we would do in our shoes, especially since, you know, we are very aware with Toys for Tots and that brand itself. And so it was a great challenge for us to really better understand what it means to donate just beyond providing a monetary contribution or bringing a toy to the local Dropbox community. So it was really fun to just collaborate with the team and hash out different ideas that really kind of leveled up the experience of donating all year round.
I can jump in. I just had a question too. Great job, you guys. I was just curious, since this is a pretty large campaign, right? It's across the entire nation. What do you think would be the most challenging aspect to execute in this campaign?
Yeah, thank you. That's a great question. I think one of the challenging aspects would be kind of taking our model train for the Catch the Train donation campaign across the nation. That is something we talked about through a lot of our meetings in our team discussions. And one way we wanted to combat that is really focusing on a partnership with Amtrak. They have actually worked with Toys for Tots before, so we thought that this is a great way to kind of pioneer for this new campaign idea. However, we understand that there could be some logistical difficulties in terms of running that campaign all year round and kind of getting that train to move throughout the nation.
Hey guys, really nice job. This is Angela. I had a question for David. It looked like you were the finance guy.
Yeah.
I was hoping you could talk a little bit about more on two fronts. One, how the largeness of Toys for Tots. I think they're about $276 million organization. How do you square the, I think you guys estimated $87,000 coming in from this campaign. I'd like to hear a little bit about how you view that in the overall finances of the organization, and then how you thought about the cost of the campaign itself. If this is running for 8 months, and like the cost of being in those different cities for 2 weeks each.
Yeah, no, so that's a great question. In terms of figuring out the cost breakdown, I referred a lot to the reference sheet to figure out like all the different components that go into each channel, as well as how much they cost. And then, yeah, in the appendix section, I have a cost breakdown underneath the next slide. Yes, that has some of the different channels and that has the different components per thousand. And then I scaled it up based off of how large and how much we wanted to invest in each channel. in depending on each phase. And then in terms of the return, I also referred to the reference sheet to see kind of how often the response rates are for each channel, and how likely people would be able to donate based off how many impressions that we're creating through these through the channels that we're exploring. So the 87,000 figure that we came up with was really based off of our calculations for how much of the budget we're able to spend of the 100,000, and then how much return we'd be able to gain from that. So if we were able to expand on the budget more, I definitely think there would be more opportunity to grow that. But given the limitations of the 100,000 and given everything that we wanted to do with our PR and our train events, we really just had to prioritize the channels we thought would be the most impactful for the campaign. And then using the estimated numbers gave us our estimated returns that we presented.
I had another question. I really liked your chart showing the competitors in the environment and the quadrants. What would you say in terms of like competitive edge? Because I saw that family, I think Family Tree and Make-A-Wish were right. Yep, those were over in this quadrant that we want to be in. What competitive edge do you think Toys for Tots has over both of those, especially, in the scope of this campaign?
Yeah, definitely. I think one very strong attribute of Toys for Tots is that they have a relatively high, strong like brand awareness. I think a lot of people are very aware of what Toys for Tots does just by the sheer amount of local communities that they participate in. I mentioned earlier that they have over 800 throughout the United States. And so that also extends to the corporate sponsors and the corporate donors that they have. But I think also being able to move Toys for Tots away from solely being a Christmas time charity will definitely bring up that competitive edge, because I think although they have a high brand awareness, it's very solely focused towards Christmas time and bringing a toy for child to enjoy Christmas. And so as we move Toys for Tots towards the right of this matrix, we're really putting them in that middle where they're competing not only for being a donation, a charity that's focusing on donating both in the Christmas time and also extending that experience all year round, but also just being someone that you can help for children in need, like again, all year round and not just solely for one specific holiday.
Thank you.
We have time for one more question, or judges, if you're finished, just let us know.
One more question. In the audience research you did, you talked a lot about it being an older generation, or did you talk about an older generation? So you're saying that the focus is families, right? And that's who's going to be giving to the, okay.
Yes.
I retract my question, thank you.
And it's time for us to wrap up. I'd like to thank the University of Maryland for serving as presentation one today. I would also like to thank our judges for being here with us this morning. Marianne, Lily, and Angela, on behalf of the DMAW Board of Directors, thank you for serving as our judges this morning. University of Maryland, you're free to go. Remember that we will be sharing the final results of the competition within the next couple of days. And judges, you may remain in the meeting and turn off your video and audio so you may score the presentation. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.